other discussions, but thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. Anybody here to speak? No? Calendar's closed, that item is closed. Next item.
Calendar item number 3, DSA number 23315BZ. The applicant Howard Goldman Esquire, effective community board number 2.
Hi, Howard. Mr. Goldman, how are you?
Good morning, Madam Borough
Good
President.
morning.
I believe you've seen this application once before. So I think, let me just do a really brief summary, and then I'll get to the community board issues. The architect is here with all the slides and
All
graphics.
right.
Good to see you
Good
again.
to see you again.
And 3 of the ownership representatives are here.
Can you just state their names for the record?
Guys,
Architects'
you wanna-
names? Just so we have it.
Sure. Brent Carrier with CRE Development.
Robert Henderson with Robert Global.
Andrew Till with Simon Barron Development. No, I guess
And
Todd
Sean?
Siggety with Shop Architects.
Thank you.
Okay, so just to summarize, this application for a variance affecting the former Paragon Paint factory, paint and varnish factory. The building was built in 1931. It operated for quite a long time. And the proposal is to convert the paint factory to residential and to build 3 new predominantly residential buildings with ground floor retail. One is 8 stories, one is 13 stories, and one is 28 stories. Those are the new buildings. In addition, the project includes what I think is a really fabulous waterfront park, which goes above and beyond the requirements of the zoning resolution. I'll talk about that in a second. It includes the replacement of a badly dilapidated bulkhead, which is allowing contamination into the basin and into the East River. It's a total replacement of the bulkhead. There'll be a number of affordable units, but we could discuss that a little later. So, the overall project is it's 5.5 FAR, and the tallest building is 295 feet. Okay, those are important figures because we're going to get to it. We received a letter from the community board late yesterday afternoon. We haven't fully digested it, but I would say that the community board's basic issue from the beginning, we've been talking to them for about a year, has been the scale of the buildings, particularly the height of the 28-story tower, which they believe is too tall given the character of the neighborhood. We've had a lot of discussion on the issue, but I think that the recent RFP that was issued last month for the Long Island City mixed-use development by the city with full participation by the Department of City Planning, I think it really moots that issue. I think it puts it to bed. Well, what it does is there are 2 parcels there. So one is right on the East River, one is on the river, and one is a block in from the river, 2 parcels. On the river parcel, the FAR may range from 5.5, which is our FAR, up to 7 in a mixed-use project. The heights on the river can go from 450 feet up to 650 feet with manufactured use in the building. Inland, just 1 block inland, the permitted FAR is 5.5 up to 7, and the heights are from 350 feet to 500 feet. So what does this tell us? This is just on the opposite side of the basin, about 1 block in, within the same zoning district, same M14 district. We are 5.5 FAR, which is at the very, at the lowest end of the permitted FARs for the RFP sites. And we are 295 feet, which is below the lowest of the heights, which is 350 feet. So in terms of community neighborhood character, if anything, our height is a little under what city planning seems to think is appropriate for that area. Of course, our project is underlain by financial hardship. At the BSA, we have a $20 million premium cleanup cost for the environmental contamination. And premium means not the ordinary cleanup costs that any manufacturing site would incur, but unique costs that are above and beyond the typical cleanup costs. And included in that is the replacement of the bulkhead. That $20 million is what drives the proposal in terms of financial hardship. The community board, the only other issue I want to address is they have said numerous times there's no benefit to the community from this project. So I'd like to suggest what the benefits are to the community. Number one, the cleanup of a site that the New York State Department of Health has classified as a significant threat to human health. The site will be completely cleaned up. Number two is the new bulkhead, which will prevent contamination from leaching into the basin in the East River. Number three is the waterfront park, which will be twice as large as required under zoning and will take up a full 1/3 of the site area. The park is really fantastic. It includes more seating, more plantings than are required under the waterfront zoning, and it also includes a very ambitious habitat restoration program in terms of native plants and even critters that are dependent on those plantings. It has more seating than is required, et cetera, et cetera. It's really a major amenity that will be entered from Vernon Boulevard. And then finally, the applicant has always said it's willing to do up to 30% of the 344 units as affordable housing. 421A is in limbo now, so we're all waiting to see what happens. But the applicant's intention was to provide a full 30% as affordable housing. Well, the AMI had not been nailed down.
So pursuant to the city regs.
Correct. So, I think, those are the main comments from the community board. There are a number of other technical comments which we'll address in writing, but I think those are their real substantive issues.
They also question the hardship issue.
Right, the hardship issue, well, you mean the self-created hardship finding. Okay. We gave them a list of applications approved by the BSA which involved contamination that preceded the current ownership. This is not a new issue for the BSA. The BSA's interpretation of this, the way they handle this, is if the prior activities that caused the pollution were legal at the time they were undertaken, weren't in violation of any laws. And of course, in 1930, there were no environmental laws, but then they will not ascribe the hardship to the current owner who's proposing to clean those up. And the most recent one, of course, was the O'Connor-Cuney project, not far from here, where the basis for variance was the cleanup of a contaminated site. And I should say, in our $20 million cost premium, that does not, that takes into account, that assumes a full brownfield tax credit. That's factored in, so we're not trying to double dip on the brownfield tax credit.
So you might have done this for the community board. Can you just go through the as of right versus what it looks like as of right, what it looks like it's with the variance.
Do you have
There were a
slides,
couple
Todd?